There's news on the television. There's news on the radio. There's news in the hallway by the lockers. There's news in the classroom. But we, as literate human beings, need to know what's true and what's not, because sometimes it might really, really matter. As students of 2024, you need to know that if you read something on Insta or Twitter, that you know how to find out whether it's true or not. Is it credible? Is there a bias? Did the teachers really stop all of the passes, or is some student making that story up? How do we find out? There are entire websites dedicated to sharing news and letting you see all points of view. This example from All Sides is a website that shows from the center, from the right, from the left, for all political stories. They literally will guide your way so that you can't be fooled. And then there's newspaper reports. Look at all these headlines dealing with global warming. The Guardian newspaper in the UK literally did a whole article showing all of the different headlines and what all of the newspapers said about the same piece of news. How confusing is that for us to navigate, to try and find the truth? But it's important that we do. So, for example, there was an Insta post, you can see it here. Remember that time they had rebranded global warming into climate change? It had over 11,000 likes in 3 days. Is that 11,000 people who suddenly believed that was true? When you fact change it, you find out it isn't true. Both those terms were already being used. And in fact, climate change was being used because there were so many additional changes other than the increase in heat. But that was 11,000 people who were easily convinced. So we need to use our knowledge and our ability to really look who is the expert, what is their motivation, to be able to compare different sources and opinions, consider who wrote it. For example, two articles here about the same thing. One is an actual article coming from NASA. NASA analysis finds strong El Nino could bring extra floods this winter, as compared to a Facebook video by this guy saying that climate change is not real. Now, obviously, these are exaggerated examples, but by checking your sources, you can make sure that you are not fooled and you are truly showing yourself as a literate person able to look at multiple sources. We need to ask ourselves questions when analyzing media experience. We need to ask about the author and audience, the message and meaning, and we need to think about reflections and evaluations. This wonderful article by Namel gives us key questions to ask about the authors and audience. Who wrote it? What was their purpose? Are they making money out of it? What is their message? What is their meaning? What is their content? How did they display their work? And then your own reflections and evaluations, your personal interpretations, your response and other people's response. And can you check their credibility? By doing all of this, you become a person who is truly literate in multiple literacies, and you're able to share this knowledge with others as you move forward in this world. And here are my references.